The censor board's decision not to issue certificate for Ali Akbar's movie on 1921 uprising could be seen as a welcome move, because this is the need of the hour. We have to protect the integrity of the nation and the communal fabric of the country, in which I think the director Ali Akbar is completely failed. If such a movie is allowed to be screened in various parts of India, it will have a disastrous implication on the communal equations and communal harmony of our country, and it will further harm the secular fabric of this country.
This takes us across to our guest. Joining us live is Gargi Nandi Roy, political analyst. With us also on the broadcast is Kevin Mathews. He's also a political analyst but leans towards the left. Kevin Mathews, you heard the filmmaker yourself. You've heard the political reactions coming in, and it is once again an attempt by the left to suppress historical facts coming into the fore. Because clearly there were attacks. It may have been, couched in the larger issue of struggle against the British, but it is a fact that this movement did turn communal and it was targeted at other Indian communities.
Not seen the movie, I can comment on the contents of the movie. But one thing I can comment on, one thing that is in public information, is that the director himself is somebody who has organized the crowdfunding the thing with communal undertones for funding this movie. He has been very vocal about his political leanings, which are borderline terrorist, borderline, or I would even take off that adjective borderline. So he has been very vocal about being a communist, divisive force, and he has a history of coming out with falsehoods on social media from his verified handles. So it has been umpteen times he has come up with, falsehoods on social media, trying to move masses to create communal disharmony in the state. And so coming from such a person, so when you put two and two together, I tend to believe the government more.
You tend to believe the government more, and you would say that...
To add to that, the central government censor board has also...
No, so then, many would say, Mr. Kevin Mathew, when you complain about the centre or the BJP, the first accusation is this cancel culture that they're engaging in. How is the left any different? Because you're doing exactly the same thing.
No, there is no cancel culture here. There is no cancel culture here.
You don't agree with something, you change it and modify it.
Right.
If you believe in freedom of speech, you will allow for the other point of view to also come about.
Sir, that is why I said even the central government, which is leaning to more towards this political leaning, Mr. Ali Akbar or aka Ramahamsan is borderline terrorist. But he is associated with the right wing.
Sir, if the ICHR has come out to say that Mopla writers cannot be treated as martyrs, then can the censor board then sit in judgment of who is a martyr and who is a writer?
No, and that is, we have a censor board for a purpose. We have a censor board for a purpose, let it be center and state. And its actions have to be audited. The director has all the options to take this to court. The court can, something similar happened when another movie was released in Kerala.
Okay, if he wants to get legal redressal, he can go to court and get relief over there. Gargi Nandi Roy, nothing stops the filmmaker from going to court, says Kevin Mathews. Your response to that?
Yes, for every film, then one has to go to the court. Madhav, the problem with the left is they will talk about free speech, but will suppress free speech and even history when it doesn't suit their narrative. Let's not forget 1921. Mopla, please don't interrupt. I did not interrupt. Don't interrupt.
Kevin, let us speak. She has not yet spoken. Give her a chance as well.
Yeah,
listen to the other side.
I have not interrupted.
Yeah, okay, let's not be intolerant now. Let's listen to all the sides.
Yeah, so the 1921 Mopla was first of its kind of manifestation of the Taliban mindset. 10,000 Hindus were killed. The Thupur well incident, which has been shown in the film, where 40 Hindus were called by a Khilafat leader, and of them 3 were shot dead, 38 were, the rest were beheaded. So those kind of scenes the censor wants to be removed. Why? That is history. You cannot whitewash history, because the left has always tried to whitewash this part of history and show it as a rebellion against the British and the landlord, which it was not. And let's not forget that Parvati Actually, madam, she sent the file noting to the revision committee, which they followed. And this part left the censor board of Kerala, the Kerala wing of the censor board, has in the past, Madhav, past films which had communalism and racism, like films like Jana Gana Mana and Puju, but they were towards the Islamist narrative. So when it suits their narrative, they will allow communalism, racism, everything. I am talking with fact. The movies like Puju and Jana Gana Mana were allowed by the Kerala wing of censor board, and it is to get their so that is the problem, that you will not allow films worldwide. Kevin, let me finish. Worldwide, the yoke Marxists, the radical yoke Marxists and radical Islamists take advantage of democracies and subvert the very democratic principles. So
you've taken the names of two films. You made allegations. Okay, Gargi Nandi Roy, you made the allegation. Now let's get Kevin's response on that as well. Kevin, the statement has come in not just from Gargi Nandi Roy, but you have seen the RSS come out to say that Islamist films or films with an Islamist theme have been given censor certificates without any cuts. That is happening because of the existing left regime, is their allegation. That's the allegation. One second, that's a question to you. You can respond to that. Please go ahead, Kevin Mathews.
Sir, I would put an open challenge to it. Even Gargi ma'am saying that Jana Gana Mana has communal undertones. I challenge her. Take her to any court in the country. Let the court decide that.
Now, Kevin, tell me, do you accept that Hindus were killed in 1921 riots? Women were raped, men were beheaded. That in the Hoover well incident, that men were beheaded and shot dead. That under Kunamad Haji and that Ali Musallar, 10,000 Hindus were killed. Do you accept that Mopla was a riot against the Hindus? Do you accept that historical fact? Because since last year we are asking that it should be accepted as a Hindu genocide in history. Please stop whitewashing our history. You people have always done that. Truth, you are always against truth. You are the same government in West Bengal who forced Taslima Nasreen to leave West Bengal. Why? Because she told the truth. She told how Hindus were treated in Bangladesh. She was driven away from Bangladesh and she was driven away from West Bengal by the left government in 2007. So that is your thing. You want to whitewash history, you want to suppress free speech when it does not suit your narrative. That is the problem. Why should Ali Akbar go to the court? Every filmmaker, if he wants to show the real history in fear of the left narrative, has to go to the court, because government बोला ना Kashmir Files का dialogue, Kashmir government तो तुम्हारा है, but system तो हमारा है. तो system is full of this left ideologues till now.
One second, Kevin Mathews, you know what the BJP, what the right wing has been saying all along is that one second, Kevin. Let me ask you a simple question. What the stand of the BJP and the right wing is that there's an attempt, or whatever was portrayed, you know, historically speaking, as far as the Mopla rebellion is concerned, or revolt is concerned, or the genocide or massacre, there may be different definitions of it. But what they are simply pointing out is that if there was, you know, the killing of Hindus in India under the garb of a freedom movement or a movement against feudalism, that too should be taken at that value. What is wrong in calling a spade a spade? It's a fact that Hindus were killed.
I agree to that. That facts should be shown as facts. So now that Gargi ma'am has given such a charade, I think she should put a mirror to herself. But let me put this open challenge to you. I haven't seen this movie, but still then I have this confidence to tell you that if even the Kerala Censor Board has asked Ramasinghan, aka Ali Akbar, to remove one scene where a fact has been shown and no fallacies have been shown, I will stop my public life today. So this is an open challenge, because it's very easy for Gargi ma'am to come here on national television and blurt out fallacies, and it is very difficult for me to prove them. So I am putting out an open challenge to her to bring about proof to her statements. This is an open challenge, and I will stop.
Why should I go to the challenge? The film historical scenes are asked to be removed. That is what I said. The Hoover well incident. That kind of incident.
I'm telling you, prove that one.
And even I have not watched the film, because the film has not released. Nobody of us, but we know that historically this genocide happened. You cannot stop somebody from portraying it in a film because it does not suit your narrative of history. You cannot stop.
So what about your narrative? You are bringing out
Okay, tell me, what was the Khilafat
You-
movement doing in India? Khilafat movement, they wanted the caliph there. They wanted to be. What was the Khilafat movement के नाम पे क्यों मारा गया था? Why were people killed? Why 10,000? The data that time media was not so strong, so it was not
Ma'am,
published.
are we talking about Khilafat movement, or are we talking about this movie?
No,
now?
so that in the
when you-
name
when you
of
don't have
Khilafat,
answers based on divorce,
see, it was the
when you don't
so-called
have answers
Khilafat
based
leader
on divorce,
who
I
had
put up an
beheaded the
open
Hindus.
challenge to
The
you.
so-called
I put up
Khilafat
an
leader
open challenge to
beheaded
you.
the Hindus. They wanted the caliphate. So what was that? I don't even understand.
So
The Khilafat leader had beheaded the Hindus.
Let's go into that.
No, that's a different
Are we
debate,
talking
but
about
let
the
it come
caliphate
out to the public. Let that history
So
be
let it
shown.
come, let
The
facts and
history
only
thinks the
voting. What
left
about
has
only
taken
making
care to
absolute
whitewash.
policy?
You people
Trying to
have
divide the
whitewashed the
country. That is
history.
their political
That's
agenda.
why Hindus have awakened today, because history has been whitewashed
come
by
on,
the left
that's a
historians.
Okay, one by one. I'm going to come to each of you one by one. 1 second. Yeah.
Jews in the state, and we live harmoniously. And it is your party's agenda, your group agenda to divide us. And the people of Kerala are not going to stand for it. That is very clear. We are one state that is an epitome of the communal harmony that what our country is all about. And we are not going to let you do that, whatever the case may be. Bring about how many Rama instruments you want. We are not going to let you do that. So you have not watched the movie. You don't know what your narrative is about.
Problem with
bring
you
about
people
a
is that you don't
I'm absolutely
understand
sorry.
what is right
This
for the
completely
country.
shameful.
Kevin, you know why the left is hardly left in the country? Because you do not understand what is right for the country. You have done enough whitewashing of history. And that is why you don't understand what is right for the country, and that's why you are hardly left in this country. You are hardly left in this country. Maybe some in the system, some in the bureaucracy.
No, 1 second. Let me just come in.
Let
Let me just come in now. Kevin. 1 second. Just let me come in for 2 or 3 points now. Now, I mean, it's clear there's an ideological fight going on. But then if a film is stripped of all the scenes where what the filmmaker is trying to communicate, whatever he is trying to put forth in terms of the story that he's trying to build, if all of that is removed, then clearly, somewhere or the other, he has a right to go ahead and complain and say that his voice has been deliberately suppressed due to ideological reasons.
My first point, sir, and that is why you should listen to my first point. My challenge was that if even one of the documented facts was said has to be removed, I would stop my public career.
Okay. Gargi Roy, you have an open challenge from Kevin Mathews. Let's get into the documented facts. 1 second. Let's documented facts, and we'll have both of you later on the show this evening. We'll have both of you at the show at 9 o'clock this evening. Please come with the documented facts that have not been allowed. Gargi Roy and Kevin Mathews, you please be prepared to listen to what Gargi Roy has to say to you. 9 o'clock, we'll see both of these guests on the channel this evening. Thanks so much for joining us. There's more news coming in. This time it is as far as Sheikh Hasina is concerned.